Happy Monday and welcome back to the Mom's View. I'm Colette, this is Kaylee, this is Carly, and I am happy to be here.
And I am happy and alive.
I feel like I'm losing my mind today. Anyways, with that,
Let's talk about.
So for today's topic, I don't know, all month I have been like, oh my gosh, this time of year kills me. We get so, you're right at the end of the school year and all this stuff starts piling up and it is just like schedule.
Yeah.
So I have to take time to go like this for a minute. But we have 3 in soccer. Like this last Saturday, we had 4 soccer games. 2 of them had pictures. Avia did the cheer competition, and I'm so grateful that you could help me with that because there's no way we could have done it all. And then Emmy had a dance competition.
You're getting them all mixed up.
I am getting them all mixed up. It was just everything happening at once. And this is sort of what the whole month of April and May look like for me. So I was thinking, is it that way for you guys? Do you guys have the same thing going on in your life? Probably. So I hoped that today we could collaborate on some maybe little life hacks, things that we can do during this time of year to help us out. And so I had a little list of my ideas that I've been trying to implement in my own life. And the first one is being super prepared. And I'm not the queen of this, but I've noticed through not being prepared that I'm actually hurting myself a lot more and causing more work for myself when I don't take the time to prepare. So like on Sunday night or Saturday, whatever, write everything in the schedule for the week, like as far as times that people need to be in a certain place. If you write it all out and you can look at it, I'm very visual, so I need to kind of see it all and then be like, okay, on this day, who's gonna take this person? Who's gonna do this? And sometimes it doesn't all work out. Like I like to be super mom and say that I can do everything, but I can't. And so some days I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna happen. And so I have to remember that we are family for a reason and that we have friends for a reason, and to call and ask for help, maybe doing carpools with people, like not being afraid to ask for help. But that being prepared and writing it out on the calendar has really helped me not feel like a crazy mess.
I think also instead of putting it in your phone, because then your alarm goes off and it's like, what is this for? Where should I be right now?
What is this alarm I set to remind myself?
Yes.
So to like see it instead of just like waiting until you get that,
Until you have to be there.
Yeah. I've done that with appointments too. Like I will set my appointment in there, but then I'll put an alert for the day before or 2 days before, so it's like fresh on my mind again.
I love when services have that text option and they'll text you the night before and you're like, oh yes, okay, tomorrow.
I love that they do that too.
Yeah.
It saves me.
So helpful.
Yes.
Then if I don't do it, I can always blame it on them. I'm like, but you didn't text me. It's your fault. Shoot.
It's true. So I don't know if you guys do this as a mom, but I know with my kids, a lot of times. I'm thinking, is that right?
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time. Anyways, thinking about grammar right now. Anyways, taking the time to teach your children so that you don't have to do all the things.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, like preparing for baseball, it's like Cooper has to have this whole special get up and I'm like, you need to know what you're wearing because I can't ever always remember all those things.
Yes.
And logically, like you're going to play baseball outside, it's warm, you're going to be sweating, you need to know to take a water bottle. Like teaching them to remember those things.
Yes. So that you're not constantly the one that's doing all the checklist.
Yeah.
Grabbing 9 billion water bottles. And I think also like knowing if their uniform is dirty to put it in the laundry room.
Yes.
Braylee wore a dirty uniform to her cheer competition. I was like, really? Like you have to be in charge of that.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I think sometimes, like, Emmy forgot. I kept asking her, I was like, do you have everything you need for every outfit? Do you have everything you need?
Dance is the hardest because you have so many pieces and different numbers and you're like...
And tights.
Yes. And she forgot her ballet slippers. And I felt so bad, and a part of me was like, oh, you're a horrible mom. And then I'm like, Colette, no. She is responsible. She is an age where she can be responsible. So don't, like, nobody needs to be blamed for it. It was just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
But just little things like that. Like learning to expect them to be responsible for things.
And I think something that would help that, you mentioned that you did this with your kids in another video where you like took a piece of paper and wrote everything down. That could also be something that you do when you have time, like make a checklist for your kids for each sport, each event, and have them have the list and they have to check it off. If you have a child that has a harder time,
yeah.
Braylee has always been very responsible. Gage has a harder time remembering. So, you know, just know your kids. Maybe a checklist would help.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And then just a couple other tips I had was to set out your clothes the night before. Like have them, you know, if they have the checklist, have them set out their stuff. And this has actually been really cute because I walked in and I told Daxon to set out his soccer stuff. And he had it all set out and he had the socks laid out with the shoes in the socks. Aww. Like if there was a person on the ground that was going to wear that.
Flat Stanley.
It was Flat Stanley. It was so cute. And
That's
he's
adorable.
just so happy. And so I tried to use that with like church because like Sunday morning we go really early now and it's always just
why is
ridiculous.
It on Sunday it's like socks, the basic things, and a white shirt. I'm always like, I know we have 500 of these things and we would find them if it was Saturday, but because it's Sunday, we have no idea where your socks are at.
That's why you need to sing this song. Saturday is a special day. It's the day we get ready for Sunday. You will see that sometimes on Saturday.
He sings that. That's cute.
Just kidding. He's just kidding.
Of course.
We don't do it.
But it does help when you do think to do it. I finally had them lay out their church clothes. This was like the first time I've ever done it. I had them lay out their church clothes and I'm like, we were only 5 minutes late.
Great. We were actually early the other Sunday. I blame it because Jackson wasn't feeling good and he didn't go with us, but he's usually the one that's ready before. I'm like, maybe it's Jackson who's keeping us behind. But Cooper goes, so at the beginning of church, this is what they do, is just like the announcement part. And I was like, yeah, why? And he's like, oh, that's what we've been missing the whole time, just like announcements.
I know,
big
right?
deal. Like, we were late that much that he just knew that's what, he's like, oh, this is what we've been missing out.
We're late so often that there's 2 songs before they do the sacrament. I only do 1 song and then I forget. Like if I'm on time, I'm like, oh, there's another song. I forgot.
Oh, we're singing again. We're doing the best we can.
We are doing the best, and I'm okay with that. Okay. And then the last tip that I had is to prep your car. Like I am known to like just live out of my car, and sometimes it'll be like months before I actually get to clean it out. So I started making a habit of, you know, every Friday I just do a quick clean out in the car. And when the kids get out, make sure that I require them to take
5 things.
Take, you know, their things or
at least their things.
At least their things.
Isn't it amazing how like you're like, for me, Cooper is the only one carrying things. I'm like, how do I have an entire toy store in my car right now?
It's so true.
Because they're like little pack rats and they like hide things. I'm like, how did 500 Star Wars guys get in here? I only have 1 kid that carries that around.
It's true.
So I made the 5 rule. I'm like, every time you get out of the car, I want you to find 5 things that are yours. And I guarantee you can find 5 things that are yours.
I'm going to use that rule.
Yes. And I ordered this little, like it's a little cloth bag that I tie around the back of one of the seats that is just a little trash bag. Because there gets so much trash in the car. But when you can kind of isolate it to one spot, then you can empty it really easily.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
and
still
it's not
picking
just like
up.
floating and
It's so hard.
I mean, that still happens, but
I'm not gonna lie, there have been times that I've cleaned my car out and then I've really regretted it when I needed something.
You're like, I need a pair of shoes for the baby.
I usually have that in my car. Cleaned it.
One day I did an Instagram story. I'm like, and I said, show me the most random thing in your car. I was dying. Just like all the moms that live out of their cars was the things they were sending me. I was dying.
There have been so many times that I've really needed something and I've had it in your car. A towel. I had a towel once I needed it.
I always leave a packet of water bottles in my back seat because I feel like we always need to water. And then I have like a little emergency baseball kit that I just leave in my car in the summer that has extra socks, because I've learned. I'm like,
oh, that's good.
Cooper goes back and forth at our house and his dad's house, so I think that's also even harder. So I just bought extra socks, a belt, and the things he usually loses, and I'm like, that's our emergency. So if anything happens, we have an emergency bag with all the extra things.
Yes.
I just actually ordered something on Amazon. It's like a long bag that hooks to the back seat of the car, so the longer part from the back, and it has different pockets, so you can put an extra t-shirt, socks, clothes, swimsuits. And then I saw someone else did something that was so funny. It's called it was a big box, and they labeled it junk in the trunk. So funny. And then they had like sunscreen, water bottles, like all of those random things, Clorox wipes, baby wipes, diapers in this box. So those are 2 things that I have been planning on doing.
Yeah, wipes and like
I know you
tissues.
always need wipes.
Yeah.
Even when your kids are grown, I feel like I still give Cooper wipes. I'm like, wipe your face off.
Right. Yeah, I always keep tissues and wipes in the car.
Wipe your face off.
Yeah, and then during like soccer and and baseball season, all that stuff, you want to keep like your chairs and a blanket and like umbrellas.
Yes. I finally learned, I'm like, during baseball season, we don't even unload the car.
Yeah.
Because it's like in and out, in and out.
Those
and
are things
like,
you just leave in.
You have a really great wagon too that I want to get.
They
it closes up, right?
Yeah.
It's cloth.
We got, my mom bought it for me. She's very thoughtful with gifts, but it is a cloth wagon, and I just leave that in my car too, because then when you're going back and forth to the fields or whatever, you just pile, even a kid, you pile all the things and you pull the wagon.
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
Something else that I wanted to get.
I should do that.
Something that I've realized is a lot of the times the mom knows what's going on. We're getting the emails, we're getting the updates, we're picking up the things, and then I forget. I'm like, I've assumed I've told that to Jackson. And so I'm like, you didn't tell me that. And so I got a dry erase board for our house, and I put everything. So it's like a community, like even Cooper looks at it, Jackson looks at it. If I have something going on for the day, I put it. I'm like, Jackson, if you have a later appointment or something, you put it on the calendar. That way we have like a community spot in the home where everyone knows what's going on for the month.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because sometimes I'm like, I swear I've gone over this 500 times. How do you not remember? So then I'm like, okay, less fighting, let's make more communication.
We're opposite at my house. Casey's always like, I told you I would be gone. I was like, no, you didn't. Like, yes, I did.
It's hard. There's a lot. And
there is.
I feel like there's just so much going on. So I'm like, we need a community spot. That's the one thing that's really helped us is, and then I set reminders for reminders on my phone.
Smart.
I'm that person.
I'm that person who doesn't do any of that, and I'm just a disaster all the time.
You are not.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Where are we supposed to be right now?
It's hard.
I see a notification, but what does it mean?
Or I'll put like the initials of the event. What are these initials?
Yep.
Why do I trick myself like this?
I do that with like grocery lists.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that?
What do I mean by that?
Why? What?
Huh?
Why is that even on here?
That's helpful.
Well, let us know in the comments below what tips or tricks or life hacks you guys have for this busy time of year. And we love you, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye.